So, ever since I had started this channel and decided to, at one point, branch off from chatting solely about Kingdom Hearts and into talking about various other RPGs, I've come to make a rather major discovery about myself. And that is that I fucking adore job systems in RPGs. The pure gameplay depth and sheer amount of replay value they offer games is downright phenomenal. And I wanted to share my newfound love of them by telling you guys about some fantastic RPGs that I've played that utilize the job system pretty much perfectly, or as close to perfect as you can get. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you about some RPGs that utilize job systems insanely well. Starting this list off all nice and strong like, my first pick is Final Fantasy V. Now, while Final Fantasy III was the game to introduce the job system into the franchise, 5 was the game to evolve it to new heights through the introduction of job skills, where every time you leveled up a job, your character would learn an ability that would help you in battle. Whether it was a passive buff or a stat increase, they ended up coming in handy quite a lot when dealing with all of the various foes in front of you. But what made the job system really pop was the ability to equip unlocked skills onto other jobs, which leads to a mix and match that's pretty much damn near limitless. Want a might mage that knows the Dragoon jump skill? Here you go. Want a summoner that can fight like a monk? Have fun! It's so damn satisfying to figure out what combos work the best with each other and utilize them in battle. It was easily the main reason I actually started to fall in love with job systems. And I still really do think it's kind of a shame this game is just unfortunately sandwiched between two of the most beloved and iconic fantasy titles to ever exist, as it really deserves more of a chance to shine. Moving on from a big named title to the next being a game that maybe like 15 of you know is always a fun thing to do for me personally. And I always enjoy doing it, just as much as I enjoy Costume Quest's job system. Costume Quest is this small-time RPG that has a neighborhood kid teaming up with a couple of other misfits he met on Halloween night to save their sibling from giant candy monster demons. And they have to use their costumes to battle the villains, transforming into them to beat their asses. What makes this system so unique is in Costume Quest, it's just how these costume attacks are utilized. Unlike something like Final Fantasy or Bravely Default, the way a basic attack punches actually changes depending on what costume you have equipped. Some attacks will require button presses at precise moments, some will randomize a button to push, others are about rotation or a button order. It added a really interesting change up to the combat that I would really be interested in seeing more games utilize. Sadly, I don't think another Costume Quest is ever going to come out after 2. Although who knows, maybe one day this underrated series will rise from the ashes to become a title juggernaut. Or I could just be coping, who knows. So, funny story, I actually just beat this game for the first ever time recently and absolutely fell in love with it, so I wanted to give it a shout out in this video. Plus, I think Golden Sun has a very interesting way of handling its jobs. Unlike other games before this where you would just kind of pick and choose whatever you wanted your job to be, Golden Sun's job system is actually a byproduct of whatever set of Djinns you have equipped. And by mixing and matching, you can create all sorts of interesting and unique job classes that change up not only your stats, but also what your psi energy is going to be utilized in both battles and the overworld. It's such an incredible way to utilize characters having jobs while getting them invested in collecting Djinns. The only real downside to Golden Sun for me in terms of its jobs is that it doesn't really come up a whole lot, and you can basically just use the normal jobs you start with or without any other major consequences. I'm curious if Lost Age will give the system the push it needs to improve, or maybe not. I don't know yet. I haven't started it yet as the making of this video. It's always been so amazing to me how the Yakuza devs were able to completely change everything up and still make one of the best games I've played in a good long while. Going from a series was just straight up 3D brawlers to a turn-based RPG with several completely new systems and still landing on its feet is so amazing that it is definitely worthy of praise. And what I loved the most from this change-up was easily the job system. While it follows a lot of the similarities of other job systems on this list, there's two major factors that make this system really interesting. For one, having the jobs be based off of, well, actual jobs people can get in the real world is a super charming touch, along with all of the special attacks being an interesting variant of what the job entails. Another is just how you unlock these jobs. Unlike a lot of other titles where you just get jobs throughout story progression or by completing a side objective, certain jobs could only be used if your personality traits matched it, which not only gave you a solid reason to engage in the game's newer mechanics, but it also made a lot of sense considering some jobs won't hire you without certain preferences. It's super entertaining, and while I do love what I played of Infinite Wealth so far, I do think taking away the job system and from being, actual jobs was a bit of a downgrade. Still a fantastic game though, don't get me wrong. So, I don't really bring it up a whole lot on this channel outside of maybe like 2 videos, but I'm a pretty massive fan of the Xenoblade trilogy. In fact, half the reason I even picked that whole front-to-back series of what games we're going to play was because I liked Xenoblade, so I was happy that the Xeno series won. And out of all of the changes I was expecting to see when Xenoblade 3 dropped, the game choosing to go for a job system format was definitely not what I was expecting. But good fucking god, was it executed phenomenally. The way you obtain jobs was rather intriguing, as many were tied to the completion of side content known as the hero quests, where after finishing them, not only did the hero you help join you in battle, and one specific character got that hero's job. And the more the job was used in battle, the more the other party members could use it for themselves. These came into play at their most important during the chain attacks, as mixing and mashing together jobs could lead to higher or lower numbers of damage. So it was always a blast to combine jobs together to see what happens. Hell, some even led to healing the party or various stat bots. It's definitely impressive that they're able to make this work so fluidly when, from what I understand, they haven't really ever used job systems before in a Xeno game. I could be wrong, I'm still only on Xenogears, so they could end up having it in the Saga games, I don't know. But what I do know is that I really do hope they try this again, especially since it's been revealed they have another RPG planned for development. So for this pick, I wanted to give the slot to a game that I genuinely feel doesn't get enough credit for its job system, and nothing fits that better than with South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Now, while both of the South Park RPGs have been praised several times over for their graphics and writing, I feel like the gameplay department of these games deserves a lot more recognition. While the first game is a fun love letter to old school RPGs, the second is far more ambitious and, to me, far more fun. And that's thanks in parts to its classes. At the start of the game, you're given one class to choose from and wield, but as the game goes on, you get more and more. But the thing is, you're only permitted a limited number of slots in battle, no matter how many jobs you get. So, you pick and choose what skill combinations work best. Do you want a character with an emphasis on mid to close range combat, someone focused on long range only, or status effects and debuffs you're kind of seeing? There's just a lot of variety in comboing skills together that I honestly think its gameplay blows the original, aka known as Stick of Truth, out of the water. Fight me on this. I dare you. And with that, my piece has been said and we have reached the end of the video. And I hope I not only conveyed my absolute love of job systems with this little vid, but also showed off other job system fanatics some cool games for them to try out. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, do me a favor and like and sub down below to help support the channel. We're on the road to 800 as we speak. And are there any other job system games you think deserve a chance to shine? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm totally not doing this so I can get games to buy so I can try them. That's all folks, have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time for more RPG content.